All right, welcome to our regular board.
Morning. Adequate public notice has been given pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act. Notice have been posted at the board's office and website and emailed to the Department of State and to newspapers and board circulation within the state.
Great. And can we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Christo DeLu,
Here.
Commissioner Abdu,
Here.
Commissioner Bange,
Here.
and President Gulsadovi.
Here. And when is our next board meeting?
The next regular board meeting will be held on Thursday, November 21st, 2024. It'll be a hybrid meeting in person at the board hearing room at 44 South Clinton Avenue, Trenton, and live stream via YouTube.
Great. Along with our regular agenda, there will be executive session today. I have some opening remarks. Just want to acknowledge the customer assistance and communications staff. We had a very well-attended utility assistance day in Essex County on Monday. Over 500 residents came to get help with their utility bills. And it was, I think, a really successful event, and we were able to help a lot of people. Our next Utility Assistance Day will be in Cumberland County in Bridgeton on December 12th, and there will be more details to come on that. I want to acknowledge that this Friday is Diwali, wishing everyone, and to acknowledge some staff today, not in the order by which it was, and of course, open it up to my colleagues. First, over 40 years, where's Rocco? Is he here? So acknowledging Rocco for his work. So thank you, Rocco, in absentia. The next, our Deputy General Counsel of 39 at the end of this month, New Jersey. She has been a personal friend of mine and a wonderful supporter of all of the think of. Joe and I thought incredibly highly of her and to get her to stay, but she has bigger, so hard to support the people of New Jersey very much. And I know we will all miss you as a colleague. Before we move,
I'll say it to you. But I too was one of the first people I met when I joined the board in my time of knowing her. The smile persists, everything, and she has seen everything, and her guidance for the board, but a loss to me is an understatement. The next chapter is going to look like for you, and I wish you the absolute.
I wish you all the best. I know what you're going through. I did that.
Dula, do you want to?
Thank you, Madam President. Yes, I firstly, Carol, just to express we were only maybe 50 feet apart from each other for 50 hours a week in our respective offices. And now we'll be further, but I'm confident that we will stay in touch and see each other maybe even more often than we did as colleagues, but much more importantly, to stay in touch as friends. Thank you for all you've done for this organization. You have made a profound difference, not just on a technical level, not just on the things that you do so incredibly well, but equally, maybe even more importantly, what you've done on an interpersonal level for all of us to bring us together as a family and as a unit that works together as friends, colleagues, and people who pursue common goals. So, Carol, those are all things that you brought to us, and forever we will be indebted. Thank you so very much.
Thanks. And I just want to add on that, I think no one has done more to protect the integrity of the board and the commissioners in this organization than Carol. She is always there to advise us what we can and cannot or should and should not do as individual commissioners, and also when it comes to board process. So thank you for keeping us in line, Carol, both professionally and personally for me. Thank you. Okay, on to new staff, which is always an exciting thing to announce. And we have several new staff today that I want to acknowledge. So if you could just stand up when I say your name so everyone knows who you are and can bother you later. Yeah, you do not have to say anything. Okay, starting with Elise Forcier in the Division of Engineering. Elizabeth Gato, also in the Division of Engineering. Jesse Kolodin in the Division of Clean Energy. Timothy Randazzo in the Office of Federal and Regional Policy. And Elsbeth Hans, who is our new Deputy General Counsel, and who we stole from the governor's office, where many great people come from. All right, a couple more things. We have two promotions that I want to announce. John Masiello for the Deputy Director of Engineering. And also Henry Gaida, who is our Chief of External Affairs. All right, we've come back from the sadness of Carol's retirement with all these wonderful new staff. Best of luck to all of you. It's great to see so many people starting in one time. I think we've kind of seen new people trickle in every couple of weeks, but this is a great group. Wonderful to see people starting in the Division of Engineering. They do such great work. We all do such great work here. And so thank you, everybody, and good luck to you. I hope you all stay for 40 years and a day. Anything else from my colleagues? Okay. I think it's time for executive session. Can we please, we will be discussing 4A, 8A, and 8E. And will the Attorney General's office please explain the justification?
Good morning, President, Commissioners. Items 4A, 8A, and 8E fall under Exception B7 of the Open Public Meetings Act found under NJSA 10-4-12, as the matters fall within the contract negotiation attorney-client exception.
Thank you. I expect this to take about 15 minutes. Can I have a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
Second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thanks,
Aye.
folks. See you in 15. back to us. Let's get started with the consent agenda.
On consent agenda items 4A and 6A.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Christodoulou? Commissioner Abdu? Commissioner Bange?
Yes.
President Gulsadovi?
Yes. Okay. Let's go to the regular agenda. Starting with Laura Storino and 2A. Oh, no, you're not Laura, but that's okay. You're also great.
I'll be presenting this today.
Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
On July 22nd, 2024, Mid-Atlantic Offshore Development LLC, otherwise known as MAOD, submitted a formula rate tariff filing to the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, otherwise known as FERC, in FERC docket number ER24-2564. MAOD proposed a base return on equity, or ROE, of 10.26% plus the 0.5% Regional Transmission Organization adder for a total proposed ROE of 10.76%. On August 12, 2024, staff of the New Jersey Board of Public Utilities filed a protest with FERC challenging MAOD's proposed ROE and requesting that FERC set the matter for hearing and settlement. Staff's protest was later ratified by the board. In response to this protest, on August 27, 2024, MAOD filed an answer asserting that its proposed ROE and depreciation rates are just and reasonable and not unduly discriminatory, and requesting that FERC reject the board's protest and accept MAOD's proposed formula rate. On September 11th, 2024, on behalf of the board, staff filed a response to MAOD's answer. Staff's response argued that MAOD's answer did not include information that would allow FERC to make a determination on the merits and contained new or erroneous information that could complicate the Commission's decision-making. Therefore, the response reiterated its request to the Commission to set the matter for hearing and settlement proceedings. On September 20th, 2024, FERC set the matter for hearing and settlement in FERC docket number EL24-137. Staff recommends that the board ratify the September 11th, 2024 response that staff filed with FERC.
Thank you.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
On a motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Christodoulou? Commissioner Abdu?
Yes.
Commissioner Bange?
Yes.
And President Gulsadovi?
Yes. Briefly, I'm sorry, I did not announce this when we came back. Item 8E, due to an issue with the state contract, we are going to need to defer that item. So now you all know. 2B, Stacy.
Good morning, President. Good morning, Commissioners. On April 14th, 2023, Jersey Central Power and Light Company filed a petition seeking review and reconciliation of the company's Rider Tax Act adjustment rates and revenues from January 1st, 2021 through December 31st of 2022. On June 12th of this year, the company provided an update to the petition with actuals through May of 15th of 2024. Following review of the petition and discussions among the parties have executed a stipulation resolving all issues. There are no bill impacts associated with the stipulation. Staff recommends the board approve the stipulation and direct the company to file revised tariffs prior to October 31st.
Thank you.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
On a motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Christodoulou? Yes. Commissioner Abdu?
Yes.
Commissioner Bange?
Yes.
And President Gulsadovi?
Yes. Stacy?
Heather's presenting.
Great. Mixing it up today.
I'm just going to move over
Keeping me on my toes. Love it. Heather, welcome.
With the board's permission, before I begin, I also would like to personally thank Carol. Your help, your guidance, your legal knowledge, truly your mentorship over the years has been second to none. And I thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. That being said, good morning, Madam President and Commissioners. The matter before you today is a motion for classification or, in the alternative, reconsideration filed by the College of New Jersey, TCNJ, regarding your July 24th, 2024 order in this matter. As you are aware, TCNJ received service from PSE&G under a grandfathered tariff where, in consideration for a lower rate, TCNJ must discontinue natural gas use upon 8 or more hours notification by PSE&G. Therefore, customers on this tariff must annually certify that, well, among other things, they will suspend their gas use when under an interruption, or that they have an alternative fuel source that can be legally used for 7 or more days at the customer's facility. PSE&G assessed TCNJ an approximate $2 million fine for failure to discontinue the natural gas use during that period of interruption. And in your July 24th, 2024 order, among other things, you ordered TCNJ to pay the full penalty amount. So TCNJ's motion before you today does not question the penalty amount, but instead is a ask of clarification of wording provided in your order, and or the alternative, if the clarification is not provided, a motion for reconsideration. Seriously, they sought clarification of language that they claim specifically requires TCNJ to maintain the alternative fuel sources on their site. So staff reviewed TCNJ's motion in addition with your board order dated July 24, 2024, and staff concluded that the board required TCNJ to certify that it will maintain an alternative fuel source that can be used in a period of interruption, and not that that fuel source must be located on site. With the board's permission, before I provide staff's recommendation, although I have the honor of sitting before you today and providing that recommendation, I must acknowledge Stacy Peterson, Jackie Galka, and DAG Terrell Klein, whose expertise and advice were critical to every step in this process. Therefore, staff recommends the following. 1, the board clarified that the subject language of the July 24, 2024 order does not require TCNJ to maintain alternate fuel on site. Staff further recommends that the board clarify that the subject language requires TCNJ to certify annually that TCNJ will maintain the availability of an alternative fuel source that TCNJ can use to operate its 2 boilers, and the availability may be on site or through a contractual supply. And finally, staff recommends that the board does not address TCNJ's alternative request for reconsideration, and that they order that the July 24th, 2024 order remain in full force and effect.
Can I just clarify?
Yes.
I just need the mic.
Go ahead.
I just want to clarify that the grandfathered schedule that TCNJ is currently on does not have the certification requirement. However, as part of the board's July 2024 order, part of the ordering clause from the board was that they begin certifying annually. So just clarifying that it's not in the tariff, it's an additional requirement pursuant to the board's order.
Thank you, Stacy.
Thank you. I don't think we've seen a motion for clarification presented with such fervor, so.
It's been a long time,
Yeah.
Madam President.
We'll
It's been a long
to get you
time.
up here again. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
On a motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Crystal Delue,
Yes.
Commissioner Abdul,
Yes.
Commissioner Bange.
Yes.
And President Gulsadovy.
Yes,
Thank you very much.
thank you. 4A, Elena. And Elena, welcome. This is your first time presenting. Nice to see you in that seat.
Okay, I just wanted to start out first to just make some acknowledgements, because without this team, I would not have been able to get here professionally and emotionally. So we have the OBC team in the back. Yeah. The legal team has been very instrumental in making sure that I stay within the confines of the law, and the board's procedures, and Taryn for making this get here where it is today. So I'm very, very appreciative of that, so thank you.
Thank you.
So earlier, good morning, Commissioners. Earlier in the executive session, I presented the need to publish the New Jersey Broadband Infrastructure Deployment Equity Program's Notice of Funding Availability, NOFA, in the New Jersey Register, and subsequently release the NJ-BIDE Pilot Program application consistent with the NOFA. NJ-BIDE is New Jersey's sub-grant program funded by the American Rescue Plan Capital Projects Fund. These steps are crucial for officially launching the NJ-BIDE pilot program and inviting applications from eligible entities. The NOFA includes eligible criteria, the application and awards timeline, a merit scoring rubric, and links to the Office of Broadband Connectivity's website, where the application will be posted. Staff recommends that the board approve the publication of the NOFA in the New Jersey Register and release an NJ-BIDE grant application consistent with the NOFA. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Just a couple of things from me. First, I want to echo your thanks of Taryn. Taryn Boland, our Chief of Staff, has been instrumental in helping to get the broadband office off the ground and to ensure that we are getting all of the work with the federal government on track. It's a significant amount of funding that is coming for broadband, this grant and others. And, you know, it's not often that the chief of staff is doing memos and board paperwork, or almost never. As a former chief of staff, I can say that with some authority. And so I just want to thank her and all of the team. So thank you very much. This one is, I know, has been very eagerly awaited by our local and federal partners. And so I'm really excited to do this today on top of opening the challenge process registration, which has also been very eagerly awaited. So thank you, Elena, and all of the work of the team.
Thanks so much.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, roll call, please.
On a motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Crystal Delue,
Yes.
Commissioner Abdul, Commissioner Bange,
Yes.
and President Gulsadovy.
Yes, thanks, Elena. Nice job. All right, 5A.
Hi there.
It is, however, frequent that our deputy executive director is doing board paperwork. Stacy, go ahead.
On July 17th, 2024, the Borough of Beach Haven filed a petition pursuant to NJSA 58:26-19, seeking approval to enter into a water supply public-private contract with Utility Service Group Water Solutions, LLC, for full service tank management and maintenance. The New Jersey Department of Community Affairs has approved the contract, and Rate Counsel filed comments indicated that it had no objection to board approval of the contract. Staff recommends that the board approve the contract, subject to the condition that any extension of the contract beyond the terms per tank or any amendment to the contract change to the formula or other basis for determining charges contained therein be subject to board review and approval.
Thank you.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
On a motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Crystal Delue,
Yes.
Commissioner Abdul, Commissioner Bange,
Yes.
and President Gulsadovy.
Yes, thank you. 5B, Dean, great to see you.
Good morning, Madam President and Commissioners.
Morning.
On June 3rd, 2024, Veolia Water New Jersey Incorporated filed a petition with the board seeking approval to implement a distribution system improvement charge for the renewal of water distribution assets for the period of 2024 through 2028. On October 14th, 2024, staff requested and received consent from Veolia and Rate Counsel for an extension of the 120-day review period in this matter, which would permit this matter to be heard at the board's October 23rd, 2024 agenda meeting. Properly noticed public hearings were held regarding this matter on September 12th, 2024. Following a review of the foundational filing, Veolia board staff and the New Jersey Division of Rate Counsel executed a stipulation of settlement in this matter. While there is no immediate rate impact upon approval of this order, the maximum rate impact for the average 5/8" meter customer is expected to be $4.08 per month. Staff recommends that the board waive the requirement for a 100-day review period specified in NJAC 14:9-10.4C and issue an order approving the stipulation.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
On a motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Crystal Delou,
Yes.
Commissioner Abdu, Commissioner Bange,
Yes.
and President Gulsadovi.
Staying with us.
5C.
5C.
On October 7th, 2024, New Jersey American Water Company, Incorporated, filed a petition with the board seeking, 1, approval pursuant to the provisions of the Water Infrastructure Protection Act of an agreement between Shrewsbury Township and New Jersey American Water. 2, a determination that the purchase price pursuant to the agreement is reasonable and thus the rate base of the township water system. 3, approval of New Jersey American Water's transaction, closing, and transition costs. That the closing and transition costs are reasonable and prudent and may be deferred for recovery in a future base rate case. And 4, such other approvals as may be necessary to complete the proposed transaction. Staff recommends that the board retain this matter for hearing and designate a presiding commissioner. And staff further recommends that the board set a bar date of November 8th, 2024 for the filing of motions to intervene and/or participate.
Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Oh, sorry. Nope.
You have to select your commissioner.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. Selecting Commissioner Krista Dulu as the designated commissioner. Sorry.
Thank you.
Any questions or comments? Roll call, please.
On a motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Crystal Delou,
Yes.
Commissioner Abdu,
Yes.
Commissioner Bange,
Accused.
and President Gulsadovi.
Yes. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, going to 7A for customer assistance. Tony. Good morning.
This matter concerns a request from the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs for approval of the Universal Service Fund Program's administrative cost budget for state fiscal year 2025. The DCA administers the USF program on the board's behalf and this year has provided monthly credits on the electric and natural gas bills of approximately 226,000 New Jersey households. For fiscal year 2025, the DCA is requesting $11,945,245, which is 5% of the current year's $237 million total program budget. Included in the budget request are the DCA's costs for administering the program, as well as costs for DCA subgrantees, which process USF applications and provide outreach to the public at the local level. It should be noted that this is only a budget. Board staff will return to the board with an accounting of actual fiscal year 2025 expenditures for board approval. Board staff has thoroughly reviewed the budget and found it appropriate and necessary for administering the USF program. Therefore, staff recommends that the fiscal year 2025 USF administrative cost budget be approved.
So moved.
Second.
Just want to thank the staff and also the DCA staff and my colleague, Commissioner Suarez. USF is such an important program for the residents of New Jersey, as we saw on Monday in Newark for those who were there. So thank you very much. Any other questions or comments? Okay, roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Crystal DeLu?
Yes.
Commissioner Abdul?
Yes.
Commissioner Bange?
Yes.
And President Gulsadovi?
Yes. Thanks, Tony.
Thank you.
8A, Z. Keeping with our theme of things we've been waiting for. There's more on that.
Good morning, Madam President. Good morning, Commissioners. Earlier in executive session, I presented a matter that involves the release of a request for quotations, or RFQ, for services of a program administrator to manage New Jersey's clean energy program. The Clean Energy Program consists of a suite of statewide energy efficiency and renewable energy programs that are available to customers in each of the service territories of New Jersey's 7 investor-owned natural gas and electric utilities. Staff anticipates that this RFQ will be approximately a 2-year contract. Staff, with assistance from Budget and Fiscal, have received all required approvals for a release of the RFQ to procure a contractor through the waiver of advertising process. Staff notes that proposals received in connection with this RFQ will be reviewed through timely and ongoing briefings with the Board President and Commissioners. Staff recommends that the Board approve the release of the RFQ to solicit proposals from qualified consultants for the purpose of hiring a program administrator for the New Jersey Clean Energy Program.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Crystal DeLu?
Yes.
Commissioner Abdul?
Yes.
Commissioner Bange?
Yes.
And President Gulsadovi?
Yes. Thanks, Z. 8B, Laura, definitely in the theme of things people have been eagerly awaiting. Good morning.
This item involves proposal of amendments and new rules to the New Jersey Administrative Code for agrivoltaics or dual-use solar, primarily as amendments to Subchapter 11 of Chapter 8, Renewable Energy and Energy Efficiency in Title 14, and new rules as Subchapter 13 of Chapter 8, Renewable Energy and Energy Efficiency in Title 14. In line with New Jersey's aggressive clean energy goals, today's item is to establish a pilot program for dual-use solar facilities in New Jersey and bring forward expansions to our renewable energy initiatives, particularly within the solar sector. Agrivoltaics is an exciting opportunity for the Garden State since it offers the potential for farming to be combined with solar electricity generation to help meet our clean energy goals while preserving our farmland. On July 9th, 2021, Dual Use Solar Energy Act of 2021, or Dual Use Act, was signed into law. The law directed the board, in consultation with the Secretary of Agriculture, to adopt rules establishing a pilot program. The law further directed the board to convert the pilot program into a permanent program within 36 months or no later than 48 or 60 months, if applicable, after the adoption of rules and regulations establishing the pilot program. On May 1st, 2023, the board approved and executed a 3-year grant agreement with the Rutgers Agrivoltaics Program, or RAP, at Rutgers University to facilitate the development and implementation of the pilot program. Staff formulated their recommendations for the design and implementation of the pilot program based on extensive stakeholder feedback on staff's draft proposal, as well as close collaboration and consultation with RAP and other state agencies. The other state agencies included the New Jersey Department of Agriculture, or NJDA, State Agriculture Development Committee, or SADC, and the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection, or NJDEP. Staff's draft proposal consisted of 2 parts and was issued to the public for comment in November of 2023 and June of 2024. Staff thanks stakeholders for their insightful and helpful feedback and for participating in these stakeholder proceedings. For the rule proposal under consideration today, Subchapter 11 governs the Successor Solar Incentive, or SUSI program, and establishing Subchapter 13 will set forth the provisions for a new segment within the board's solar program for agrivoltaics as a dual-use solar energy pilot program. The pilot program is designed to evaluate and approve dual-use solar facilities and set requirements for their installation and operation. It will also provide incentives within the SUSE program, which serves as the permanent program for providing solar incentives to qualified solar electric generation facilities. The rule proposal establishes the pilot program based on the framework of the Dual Use Act. The provisions establishing the pilot program in the rule proposal mirror those laid out in the board order that is in a companion agenda item. In addition, the rule proposal includes modifications to the SUSE program to integrate the process for awarding an agrivoltaic-specific adder to dual-use pilot projects. The proposed amendments and new rules are expected to have positive impacts on New Jersey by promoting the complementary legislative goals of the Clean Energy Act of 2018 and the Solar Act of 2021 of encouraging the continued efficient and orderly development of solar energy generation in the state, and promoting the investment of new solar facilities at the least cost of solar incentives to ratepayers while protecting farmland and other sensitive environmental resources. The pilot program will help remove barriers to participation in solar energy and allow the agricultural community to participate in the advantages of solar energy in areas where it may not have been possible to do so without abandoning active farming on unpreserved farmland. Staff anticipates that the pilot program as proposed in this rulemaking will build on the successes of the underlying SUSE program. Staff recommends the board approve the rule proposal for publication in the New Jersey Register.
So moved.
Questions or comments? Roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Crystal DeLu?
Yes.
Commissioner Abdul? Commissioner Page?
Yes.
And President Gosadovi?
Yes. Thanks. Staying with us.
Yes. This item complements the previous agenda item and also involves the development and implementation of a dual-use solar energy pilot program or pilot program pursuant to the Dual-Use Solar Energy Act of 2021 or Dual Use Act. After an extensive review and thorough consideration of stakeholder comments, staff recommends that the board establish the pilot program via board order per the following recommendations. 1, establish a pilot program pursuant to the Dual Use Act. 2, award solar incentives in the form of New Jersey Solar Renewable Energy Certificates 2, or SREC 2s, for eligible dual-use solar energy projects upon selection through a competitive procurement. 3, establish the value of each SREC 2 by using a baseline value for a solar energy project in the applicable subprogram of the Successor Solar Incentive or SUSE program, namely the Administratively Determined Incentive or ADI program, or the Competitive Solar Incentive or CSI program. 4, allow the solicitation process to establish the value of an adder or additional financial incentive on top of a baseline SREC 2 incentive. The adder will reflect the costs specific to the agricultural or horticultural aspects of a project. 5, in compliance with the Dual Use Act, set the maximum capacity limit for each dual-use solar energy pilot program project or pilot project to be equal to 10 megawatts or less, measured as the sum of the nameplate capacity in direct current or DC rating of all PV panels comprising the dual-use solar facility. 6, authorize staff to issue a notice of incentive availability with an initial annual capacity target up to 50 megawatts for the first program year. 7, direct staff to open the pilot program to accept expression of interests or EOIs for pilot projects sized at a minimum of 500 kilowatts DC through a pre-qualification application process on January 6, 2025. 8, open the pilot program to qualifying grid supply projects and net metered non-residential market segments under the SUSE program, but do not allow pilot projects from participating in the board's community solar energy program. 9, do not require CSI eligible facilities seeking to participate in the pilot program to also participate in a solicitation for the CSI program. 10, align siting criteria for the pilot program to that of the CSI program. In other words, prohibit the siting of pilot projects on forested lands, green acres lands, and preserved farmland, as well as on the land types expressly prohibited by the Dual Use Act. And finally, 11, do not allow the state's 4 electric distribution companies or EDCs to develop, own, or operate pilot projects, but require the EDCs to process interconnection applications for potential pilot projects in the order in which they are received.
So moved.
Second.
I just want to say how excited I am. I know, that, again, this was one folks were eagerly awaiting. It's so great that we have been able to partner with the Department of Agriculture and DEP on and being able to stand up this program as a way to maintain our position as the Garden State and also our position as a leader in solar development. So this is very exciting. I can't wait to get out to a dual use project at some point and see what an interesting technology this is. And so thank you. Any other questions or comments? Roll call, please.
On the motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Christo DeLu?
Yes.
Commissioner Abdul? Commissioner Bange?
Yes.
And President Gul-Sadovi?
Yes, thanks.
Thank you.
8D. Talk about the theme today, Kathleen. Eagerly awaiting.
Eagerly, long awaited. Yes.
Eagerly and patiently, though, right? Patiently awaiting.
Oh, of course. Well, good morning, and as part of the theme to the day, I will take a moment to thank the team, not just for the clean transportation team for the last 6 months, but also the teams that are part of clean transportation. Some of them have left clean transportation, some of them have left the board by now, but we've had a lot of folks in here. So today's order would adopt the minimum filing requirements, which direct New Jersey's investor-owned electric distribution companies to propose programs calculated to expand access for charging for medium and heavy-duty electric vehicles. New Jersey's transportation sector accounts for nearly 40% of the state's net greenhouse gas emissions, with medium and heavy-duty trucks and buses admitting an outsized share of those emissions and air pollution, which is harmful to the public. These emissions disproportionately impact low-income neighborhoods and communities of color. On June 30th, 2021, staff released a straw proposal, medium and heavy-duty EV ecosystem. During August and September of 2021, staff hosted 5 technical panels. A second iteration of the straw was released in December of 2022, which addressed comments from that first straw. The proposed minimum filing requirements include minor modifications to the second proposal, which take into account new technologies and feedback from the comments received. The proposed MFRs employ the shared responsibility model that was previously utilized in the light-duty charging utility programs. This model requires the EDCs to propose programs to fund make-ready for certain medium and heavy-duty charging uses. The proposed minimum filing requirements require the following in each of the EDC's medium and heavy-duty plans. Up to 100% utility funding for make-ready for publicly accessible medium and heavy-duty charging. Up to 100% utility funding for make-ready for charging for public serving fleets, which are those vehicle fleets that are operated by a government entity or that provide a public service. Up to 50% utility funding for make-ready for private fleets primarily operated or serving in overburdened municipalities as defined by the Clean Energy Office of Equity, and for private fleets primarily operated or serving in overburdened communities that are directly adjacent to the federally approved freight EV corridors. The proposed minimum filing requirements also encourage managed charging for all fleets, require managed charging for private fleets, and allow additional bonus incentives for charging located in overburdened municipalities, overburdened communities, charging for small businesses, and for fleets converting to EVs. It also establishes technical assistance and planning for all fleets, multi-unit dwellings, and for public charging sites over 500 kilowatts. The proposed MFRs impose the following responsibilities on those EDCs. They must provide and base incentives for make-ready on the average cost to install level 2 chargers, 50 kilowatt, 150 kilowatt, and 350 kilowatt chargers. This will allow the EDCs to set incentive levels based on power level of the charger and allow the users to Utilize the charger most appropriate for their use case. EDCs must recommend a demand charge solution for publicly accessible charging. Updates to that solution must be included in future rate cases. EDCs must propose EV rates at their next rate case, including for fleet managed charging and publicly accessible charging. EDCs may provide an additional incentive to upgrade Make Ready to be ready for vehicle to grid or vehicle to building or V to X up to 50% of those incremental costs. EDCs may provide an incentive equal to the amount of the Make Ready incentive for a load modifying or no wire solution that cuts in half the time to electrification. EDCs must comply with state data collection requirements and use network compliant charger networks. EDCs must provide updated grid capacity maps for medium and heavy duty charging that includes information about whether wires are above or below ground and maps that can be easily compared and overlaid with interconnection capacity maps. EDCs must provide reports every 6 months on progress, which includes updated maps. They must propose measurement methods and enforcement mechanisms for all requirements. The EDCs must propose a budget for the full program outlined in the MFRs, but total funding of the incentives is capped. $30 million for PSE&G, $15 million for JCP&L, $5 million for RICO, and $5 million for ACE. The programs were run for 48 months and will be subject to those caps throughout the program duration. Once an EDC's medium and heavy-duty plan is approved, under certain conditions, the EDCs will be permitted to submit requests for cap adjustments or reallocation budgets between approved subprograms depending upon the percent of the budget, may require notice, staff, or board approval. Staff also recommends ordering the following in conjunction with the adoption of the medium and heavy-duty minimum filing requirements. Establishing an EV working group for the purposes of sharing information, considering best practices from other states' EV policies, requiring certain biannual program reports be filed by each EDC concerning medium and heavy-duty projects funded by the state and utility funds. Details of these requirements are enumerated in the order. Permitting EDCs to own and operate publicly accessible EV chargers and EVSE in areas of last resort upon filing of petitions to the board for the same, which would require public comment and subsequent board approval. Staff is happy to recommend to the board to approve these MFRs contained in Exhibit 2 of the order to require that the EDCs create these medium and heavy-duty incentives.
Thank you, Kathleen.
So moved.
Second.
Again, I know this one was long and eagerly awaited. A lot of work went into this by staff, by our partners, and certainly by stakeholders in their comments and discussions over the years. I think we're all really excited to see this and I know relieved. So thank you. Other questions or comments? Okay, roll call, please.
On a motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Crystal DeLu?
Yes.
Commissioner Abdul?
Yes.
Commissioner Bange?
Yes.
And President Gulsadovi?
Yes, thank you. So that comes to the end of our agenda because, as I said, we are deferring 8E. I want to thank everyone for being here today, and I just do want to give a special shout out to the leadership team, many of whom are doing 2 jobs on a regular basis. Our acting general counsel / executive director, chief of staff, our deputy executive director / division of rates director, and our new deputies and outgoing. So thank you for those, especially to those folks who I work with very often. Our whole team here is fantastic at the BPU, but these are the folks that I spend a lot of time with and get to hear me and my voice regularly. So appreciate all of your work. Thank you, everyone, for being here, and have a great rest of your week. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 See ya. Thanks, Commissioner.